Alex stepped out of the transport shuttle and looked around the bustling colony city. The buildings were tall and sleek, with glowing panels and floating vehicles weaving between them. This was nothing like Earth. The air smelled faintly metallic, and the sky was tinted a soft purple. He adjusted his backpack and took a deep breath. This was his new home, at least for the next year. He had been assigned a shared apartment in a building that housed humans and aliens alike. It was part of the colony's effort to help different species live together peacefully. Alex didn't know what to expect, but he was excited. He had always been curious about other life forms, and now he would live with one. When he entered the apartment, a soft humming sound greeted him. The room was simple but clean, with 2 bedrooms, a small kitchen, and a living area. On the couch sat his roommate, quietly reading a holographic book. Alex froze for a moment. She looked human at first glance, with long hair that shimmered slightly in the light and bright eyes that seemed to change color depending on the angle. But there was something different, something he couldn't place. "Hi, I'm Alex," he said, trying to sound friendly. She looked up slowly. "Lyra," she said in a soft voice. "Welcome." There was a calmness in her tone, but also a distance. Alex smiled and introduced himself properly. They exchanged polite words, and then she returned to her book. Alex unpacked his things, but he kept stealing glances at Lyra. She didn't seem like the ordinary humans he had met before. Her movements were graceful, almost too perfect, and her eyes, they were mesmerizing. He shook his head, trying not to think too much about it. The first few days were quiet. Lyra kept to herself most of the time. She had a strict routine, waking up at odd hours, leaving the apartment during the night, and returning just before sunrise. She avoided mirrors and never spoke about her home or family. Alex respected her privacy, but his curiosity was growing. One evening, while cooking dinner, Alex noticed a faint glow coming from her bedroom. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. He paused, unsure if he should investigate. He reminded himself to respect boundaries, but his eyes kept drifting back, drawn by the soft light. The next night, the glow returned, stronger this time. Alex decided to ask casually, trying not to seem suspicious. "Lyra, what is that light from your room?" She froze, her eyes narrowing slightly. "It's nothing," she said softly, but there was tension in her voice. She turned away and walked out of the room. Alex's curiosity spiked. He didn't push further, but he made a mental note. There was more to Lyra than met the eye. Something extraordinary. A few days later, Alex returned home from his classes to find the living room empty. The apartment was quiet, except for the faint humming coming from Lyra's room. He hesitated at the door, then heard a strange sound, like metal shifting and a soft sigh. He peeked through the small gap in the door and saw something that made his heart skip a beat. There, in the dim glow, Lyra's shape seemed to ripple. For a brief moment, her form shimmered and shifted, revealing something not human. She had a glowing aura, and her limbs stretched and bent in ways that were impossible for humans. Her skin reflected the light like liquid silver. Then, just as quickly, it returned to normal. Alex stepped back, his mind racing. Had he really seen that? He pinched himself. Yes, he had. His roommate was not human. He wanted to ask questions, but at the same time he felt a strange fear. What if he did something wrong? What if he scared her? He decided to wait, to watch and understand more before confronting her. The next day, he tried to act normal, but he noticed subtle things. Lyra avoiding mirrors even in public, glancing at sensors that humans didn't notice, and sometimes leaving behind faint traces of that shimmering glow. It was like she carried a piece of another world inside her. Alex spent more time observing quietly, fascinated. He couldn't help but admire her. She moved with a confidence and grace he had never seen in humans, yet she also seemed lonely, isolated. He wondered what her life had been like before coming to this colony. One evening, Alex found Lyra in the kitchen, preparing a strange drink that smelled unfamiliar. "Can I try?" he asked, genuinely curious. She hesitated, then nodded. "It's safe," she said, handing him a small cup. The liquid shimmered softly, like the glow he had seen before. Alex took a cautious sip and felt warmth spread through him, a soothing energy he couldn't explain. "Wow, this is incredible," he said. Lyra smiled faintly, a rare gesture. "It has properties from my home planet," she said. "It helps balance energy for some species." Alex nodded slowly. "Some species?" She paused, looking at him carefully. "You'll understand eventually," she said, then changed the subject. That night, Alex lay in bed, thinking about what he had seen. Lyra's true form. Her secret. It was amazing, almost unbelievable. But he also felt a sense of responsibility. He couldn't tell anyone. Not yet. This was her secret, and he had to respect it. But his curiosity had turned into something stronger, a desire to help her, to understand her world, and maybe even to see her trust him enough to reveal the rest. The city outside continued to hum with life, but Alex felt a quiet excitement. He knew that living with Lyra would not be ordinary. Something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would change his life forever. And as he drifted off to sleep, he could still see that faint glow in his mind, the shimmer of his alien roommate's hidden form, and he wondered what other mysteries she was hiding. The next few days passed slowly for Alex. He tried to act normal, but his mind kept drifting back to the shimmer he had seen in Lyra's room. Every time she moved gracefully across the apartment, he felt the urge to watch, to understand what she was hiding. But he reminded himself he had to be careful. Trust was important. One evening, Alex returned from his engineering lab, carrying parts for a small personal project. He found the apartment unusually quiet. The hum of Lyra's energy drink machine was absent, and the faint glow he had seen before seemed to flicker somewhere inside her room. He set his backpack down and glanced toward her door. The glow pulsed softly like a heartbeat. Curiosity got the better of him. Slowly, carefully, he stepped closer. "Lyra?" he called softly. No answer, only the soft pulsing of light from behind her door. He tilted his head, noticing a small panel near the door frame. A tiny display blinked in rapid sequences, patterns that looked alien to him. Without thinking, he touched it. The panel opened like a small window, revealing a hidden corridor behind the wall. Alex's heart raced. A hidden corridor inside his own apartment? That explained the strange energy patterns he had felt before. He glanced at the door to Lyra's room. She wasn't there. Maybe she had left. Taking a deep breath, he stepped inside the narrow passage. The walls were smooth and metallic, with soft lights guiding him forward. His senses tingled. This was advanced technology, far beyond anything he had studied in the human engineering labs. The corridor opened into a small chamber. Holographic star maps floated in the air, showing dozens of planets, moons, and asteroid belts in ways he had never imagined. Strange devices hummed on counters, glowing softly with energy. And then, in the center of the room, a containment chamber pulsed with light, radiating warmth. Alex froze. This was incredible. He had heard of alien technology, but seeing it so close was like stepping into a dream. He stepped closer, studying the devices. They responded to his presence, glowing brighter as if sensing him. A sudden noise behind him made him spin around. Lyra stood at the entrance of the chamber. Her eyes were wide, her hands slightly raised. "Alex, you shouldn't be here," she said quietly. But there was no anger in her voice, only concern. I didn't mean to intrude," Alex stammered. I wanted to understand. Lyra's gaze softened slightly, but tension still lingered. Some things are not meant to be discovered so easily. This technology, it is dangerous if mishandled. Alex looked around the room again. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this. But what is this chamber? And those star maps? Lyra sighed, stepping closer. She waved her hand over a device, and a soft image appeared, a hologram of her home planet, glowing in blue and green light. This is my world, she said. And these devices, they help me maintain my energy and my form. You saw me change, didn't you? Alex swallowed hard. Yes, I saw it. I'm sorry if I scared you, it's just, I've never seen anything like that. You're amazing. Lyra studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. It is not something I show to many, but you are curious, and curiosity can be useful. Alex's heart raced. He had touched a panel, entered a secret chamber, and now he was hearing about her true form. This was more than he had ever imagined. Why are you hiding? Alex asked gently. Why live among humans if you can do this? Lyra hesitated. Humans are different. My form, my abilities, they can frighten people. I needed to hide to live normally, to observe, to understand your species. Alex nodded slowly. I understand. I promise I won't tell anyone. I want to learn. And maybe help. A flicker of something like relief appeared on her face. She moved toward the containment chamber and touched a panel. The light inside it shifted, revealing a small crystal that glowed softly. This keeps me stable, she explained. Without it, my energy can spiral out of control. My form can become dangerous unintentionally. Alex reached out, but she gently stopped him. Not yet, she said. You need to understand more before you handle this. He nodded. I will. I want to help. For the next hour, Lyra showed him small things, how the devices worked, how she maintained her energy, and how humans and aliens could coexist safely. Alex listened intently, fascinated by everything. He realized her life was not easy. She had to hide, protect herself, and control powers humans could barely imagine. You must be careful, she warned. If anyone else discovered my form, they might not understand. They could react with fear or even attack. Alex felt a surge of determination. Then I'll help you. Whatever you need, I'll be here. Lyra studied him silently for a long moment. Then she smiled faintly. You are brave and curious. Perhaps too curious. But bravery is not a bad trait. Just then, a small alarm went off in the chamber. A device blinked red, indicating an energy surge somewhere in the city. Lyra's expression changed. She moved quickly, her movements almost too fast for Alex to follow. This cannot wait, she said. Something is happening outside. A device from my home planet. It must be stabilized. If it isn't, it could affect the city. Alex's heart pounded. He had just discovered her secret, and now she was asking him to face danger with her. But he didn't hesitate. Tell me what to do, he said firmly. Lyra nodded. First, you must stay calm. Then follow my instructions. Do not touch anything unless I tell you. Alex realized that living with Lyra would not be ordinary. He had stepped into a world full of mysteries, powers, and responsibilities, and now the adventure he had longed for had begun. As they prepared to leave the secret chamber and head toward the source of the energy disturbance, Alex felt a mixture of fear and excitement. His roommate was not just hiding a secret, she was extraordinary. And he was about to discover just how powerful she truly was. For the first time, Alex understood that curiosity and courage could lead to amazing discoveries, and sometimes to dangerous adventures. but he was ready. After the strange events of the previous night, the apartment felt different. Alex moved carefully, aware now of the hidden world inside his roommate's life. Lyra still acted calm and composed, but Alex noticed small changes in her behavior. She seemed less distant, glancing at him occasionally with a faint smile, as if testing his trust. The next morning, Alex decided to approach her carefully. He didn't want to push, but he wanted to show that he could be relied on. "Good morning," he said, pouring coffee into 2 cups. "I made enough for both of us." Lyra paused, looking at him. She rarely interacted this casually. Then, slowly, she nodded and accepted the cup. "Thank you," she said softly. They sat in silence for a moment, sipping the warm drink. Alex felt the tension from the previous days start to ease. It was strange, this quiet companion beside him, who held a universe of secrets, seemed almost human at times. "Lyra," Alex began gently, "can I ask you something?" She tilted her head slightly, signaling him to continue. "Why did you come to live here among humans if your abilities are so different?" Lyra took a deep breath, her eyes focusing on a point far away, as if recalling a memory. "I wanted to learn. My people. We are advanced, but we have much to understand about others. Humans are curious, inventive, and brave. I wanted to observe, to see how your species handles life, challenges, and change." Alex nodded. "I think I understand. And I want to learn too. About your world, your abilities, everything." A small smile appeared on Lyra's face. It was rare, and Alex treasured it. "Very well," she said. "I will tell you some things. Slowly. You must promise to be careful and patient." "I promise," Alex replied firmly. For the rest of the day, they worked together in her secret chamber. Lyra explained some of her devices, showing him how energy flows could be balanced and controlled. Alex was fascinated. The technology was like nothing humans had created, yet it had a logic he could follow. He realized that human ingenuity and alien science could work together in unexpected ways. "Humans have a special quality," Lyra said, almost as if thinking aloud. "You adapt, invent, and solve problems even when you have limited resources. That is admirable." Alex felt a swell of pride. "Thank you. That means a lot." As the days passed, Alex and Lyra grew closer. She began to share stories of her home planet. The planet was vast, with oceans of shimmering liquid and forests that glowed softly at night. Her people could change shape, control energy, and communicate through light. But despite their powers, they were curious about others, seeking knowledge and understanding. Alex listened, captivated. He imagined traveling to her world, seeing the glowing forests, and learning from a civilization so different from his own. He realized that Lyra's experiences were a gift, a glimpse into a universe humans had barely begun to explore. One evening, as they worked together to calibrate one of her devices, an alarm flashed softly on a panel. A small energy disturbance had been detected near the outskirts of the city. Lyra's expression turned serious. "This is minor, but it could escalate if ignored," she said. Alex looked at her. "Do you want me to help?" "Yes," Lyra replied. "But you must follow my instructions exactly. One mistake could make things worse." They moved quickly, leaving the apartment and heading to the location. Alex noticed the city's lights flicker slightly as they approached. In a small park, the disturbance was visible. Floating debris and sparks of uncontrolled energy rose into the air. People nearby were confused and scared, moving away from the center of the anomaly. Lyra stepped forward, her movements precise and controlled. She extended her hands, and a soft light shimmered around her. Alex felt a hum in the air, like the city itself was responding to her presence. She directed the energy carefully, guiding it into a small containment field. "Alex, stand back but be ready," she said. Alex followed her instructions, adjusting a small stabilizer device she had given him. Together, they worked in silence, their movements synchronized. Slowly, the energy disturbance calmed, the floating debris settled, and the sparks disappeared. The people in the park stared in awe. They had seen something extraordinary, though few could understand it. Alex felt a thrill. He had witnessed alien power firsthand and had helped control it. Lyra turned to him, a faint smile on her face. "You were brave," she said softly, "and quick to learn. Most humans would have panicked." Alex blushed slightly. I just wanted to help." She studied him for a moment. "Humans, you are remarkable. You are not just brave, but clever. You complement my abilities in ways I did not expect." For the first time, Alex felt that humans were truly respected by someone from another world, not just tolerated, but admired for their courage, intelligence, and adaptability. He realized that he had become part of something bigger than himself, a bridge between two very different worlds. As they returned to the apartment that night, the city lights glowing softly beneath them, Alex felt a new sense of purpose. Living with Lyra was no longer just about curiosity. It was about trust, responsibility, and learning how humans could play an important role even in a universe full of beings far more advanced than themselves. Lyra opened the apartment door and stepped inside, motioning for Alex to follow. "You have done well today," she said, "but there is more you must understand. Not every event will be small or easy to manage." Alex nodded, feeling both excitement and anticipation. "I'm ready. Whatever comes next, I'll help." Lyra paused for a moment, then smiled faintly. "Good. That is what I hoped for. Trust and cooperation. These are important. You have both." As they settled in for the night, Alex felt a warmth inside him. He had earned some of her trust, and he was beginning to understand the responsibility that came with it. There was still much to learn about her world, her abilities, and the mysteries she carried. But for the first time, he felt like he belonged, not just among humans, but alongside someone extraordinary, someone from the stars. And as he closed his eyes, he wondered what other challenges awaited them, what dangers might arise, and how humans like him could prove their worth in a universe so vast and unpredictable. One thing was certain: living with Lyra would never be ordinary, and his life had already changed in ways he could never have imagined. The next morning, the city was quiet, but Alex felt an uneasy energy in the air. He had gotten used to the strange hum of Lyra's devices in the apartment. But today it seemed different, heavier, charged. He glanced at the sky, which glowed faintly with unusual colors, and his stomach tightened. Something was coming. Lyra was already awake, moving with her usual calm, but her eyes were sharper than usual. She was scanning the apartment with small instruments and sensors, checking energy flows. Alex approached carefully. "Lyra, is everything okay?" he asked. She shook her head slightly. "No. Something is happening outside the city. An old device from my home planet. It has activated. If it is not controlled, it could cause serious damage." Alex's heart raced. "How serious?" Lyra's eyes met his. "Very. It could destroy buildings, injure people, and create chaos. We must act quickly." Alex nodded. He had seen enough of her abilities to know that this was real. He grabbed the stabilizer device she had given him the previous night. Together, they headed toward the outskirts of the city, where sensors indicated the energy surge was strongest. As they walked, the air shimmered with uncontrolled energy. Streetlights flickered, and small objects floated briefly before dropping back to the ground. People were running, unsure of what was happening. Alex felt a thrill of fear, but also excitement. This was the moment where human courage could truly make a difference. Lyra moved ahead, her body glowing faintly as she directed the energy into a contained flow. Her hands moved gracefully, shaping the currents like an artist molding clay. Alex followed her instructions carefully, adjusting the stabilizer to help guide the energy. Suddenly, the energy surged violently. A loud crack echoed through the area, and Alex stumbled. Sparks flew around them as the device threatened to destabilize completely. "Alex, focus!" Lyra shouted. "You must adjust the stabilizer now." Alex's hands shook, but he concentrated. He remembered everything she had taught him: how to observe patterns, how to respond quickly, how to stay calm under pressure. He moved the stabilizer, directing the energy into a safer flow. Slowly, the sparks decreased, and the floating debris settled. Lyra's glow intensified. Her form shimmered briefly, showing more of her true abilities than ever before. Energy swirled around her, but she controlled it perfectly. Alex watched in awe, realizing the full extent of her power. She was not just hiding a secret, she was extraordinary. "Almost there," Lyra whispered, her voice steady despite the immense power she controlled. Alex adjusted the stabilizer one final time. The device's energy settled completely. The sky returned to its normal tint. The air cleared, and the city felt safe again. People cautiously returned to the streets, looking around in wonder at what they had witnessed. Lyra's glow faded, and she collapsed slightly, exhausted. Alex rushed to her side. "Are you okay?" he asked, worried. She smiled faintly, breathing heavily. "Yes, thanks to you. Your quick thinking helped stabilize the device. Many humans would have panicked, but you did not." Alex felt a rush of pride. He had not only witnessed something extraordinary, he had played a role in protecting the city. "We did it together," he said. Lyra studied him closely. "Yes, together. Humans are clever, resourceful, and brave. You proved that today." For the first time, Alex felt that humans could truly be respected by someone from another world. His courage, his quick thinking, his ability to stay calm under pressure, these were qualities Lyra admired, qualities that made him and his species remarkable. As they walked back toward the apartment, Lyra explained more about the device. It was a relic from a past conflict on her home planet, a machine designed to manipulate energy on a large scale. It had been dormant for centuries, but something had reactivated it. Without her intervention, it could have caused severe damage. Alex listened, fascinated. "So humans can really help even with things like this?" he asked. Lyra smiled faintly. "Yes, even beings with less power can make a difference. Courage, intelligence, and cooperation, these are strengths your species possesses." Back in the apartment, they finally rested. Alex helped Lyra adjust her energy containment crystals, small devices that kept her stable. She seemed calmer now, though still tired. "You were incredible today," she said quietly. "Many would have failed, but you acted bravely and wisely. You make humans worthy of trust." Alex blushed slightly. "I just tried my best. I never thought I could really help someone like you." Lyra shook her head. "You did more than help. You proved that humans have value beyond what many beings realize. Courage is not just physical, it is the ability to act wisely when it matters most." They sat in silence for a moment, letting the quiet settle. Alex realized that living with Lyra was more than curiosity now. It was trust, friendship, and shared responsibility. He had seen her powers, helped her control them, and in return, she had shown him a glimpse of the universe beyond human understanding. That night, Alex looked out at the city from the apartment window. The lights glimmered softly, and the stars above twinkled in a familiar rhythm. He felt a quiet pride. Humans had made a difference today. Even in a world of beings far more advanced than themselves, they could still matter. Lyra approached him silently. "You should rest," she said softly. "Tomorrow may bring more challenges. But know this. You have proven yourself. I trust you, Alex. That is rare, even among beings with great abilities." Alex smiled. "Thank you, Lyra. I trust you too." For the first time, he realized that their partnership was more than roommate curiosity. It was a bond forged in trust, danger, and mutual respect. He felt ready for whatever might come next. And somewhere in the city, beyond their apartment, he knew more disturbances could appear. But Alex also knew that with courage, intelligence, and cooperation, humans and aliens together could face anything. He closed his eyes, thinking of the adventures yet to come. Lyra's world, her abilities, the mysteries of the universe. They were no longer distant dreams. They were part of his life now, and Alex knew deep inside that living with Lyra had changed him forever. The city was calm now, but the events of the previous days had left ripples. News of the strange energy disturbances and the unusual events at the park had spread quickly. People whispered about what they had seen, floating debris, shimmering lights, and a glowing figure controlling it all. No one knew exactly what had happened, but the stories carried awe, curiosity, and a hint of fear. Alex and Lyra returned to their apartment, both exhausted but alert. The glowing shimmer that surrounded Lyra during the energy surge had left an impression on the city's residents, and Alex knew that sooner or later, more people would notice her abilities. Lyra moved to the containment chamber and adjusted her energy crystals. "The city may not understand what I am," she said quietly. "They might fear it or worse, reject it." Alex studied her seriously. "Lyra, people already saw you. They might be surprised, but I don't think they will react with fear if they see you in the right way. You've helped them. You've protected them. That counts for something." Lyra hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Perhaps you are right. But trust must be built carefully. They have never seen beings like me." Alex smiled faintly. "Then we'll show them. Together." The next morning, Alex and Lyra ventured into the city. Lyra remained partly in her human form, but a faint glow surrounded her, signaling the energy she carried. People stopped and stared. Some whispered, others stepped back cautiously. A child approached, curious and unafraid. "Are you real?" he asked softly. Lyra knelt slightly, smiling. "Yes, I am real, and I am here to help." Alex stood beside her. "She saved the city," he said, "and she asked me to help. Humans and aliens can work together. We can learn from each other." Slowly, the crowd began to relax. Some people still looked in awe, but many realized that Lyra was not a threat. Her calm presence and the trust Alex showed in her made the difference. Over the next few days, the city began to accept her. Scientists and engineers approached, eager to learn from her technology. Children followed her, fascinated by her shimmering abilities. Even adults, initially wary, started to understand that she had used her powers to protect, not harm. Alex observed everything quietly. He felt proud, not for himself, but for humanity. Humans had proven that they could cooperate, adapt, and act bravely even in situations beyond their understanding. Lyra had said it herself. Courage, intelligence, and cooperation were strengths humans possessed. Alex had seen it firsthand. One evening, after the city had calmed, Lyra invited Alex to her secret chamber. The star maps glowed softly and the devices hummed with energy. Lyra's full form shimmered before him, revealing her true appearance completely. Her body glowed with soft, shifting lights, her limbs moved gracefully, and her eyes sparkled with energy. It was beautiful, almost otherworldly. Alex stared, awestruck. "Lyra, You're amazing. She smiled faintly. And yet, I feel more at ease knowing you are here. You did not run away. You did not fear me. You accepted what I am. Alex stepped closer. I didn't need to run. You're still Lyra, the person I've come to know. Your form doesn't change that. Humans, we can respect and trust beings who are different. That's what makes us strong. Lyra studied him silently. Then, for the first time, she nodded fully, showing relief and trust. You understand humans better than many of my own people. That is rare. Alex smiled. I've learned a lot from you, too. About courage, about responsibility, about friendship. They spent the evening sharing stories and ideas. Lyra explained her home planet more fully, showing him holographic visions of glowing forests, oceans of shifting colors, and cities built on floating platforms. Alex shared his human experiences, how humans adapted to challenges, how they solved problems, and how they cared for each other. It was a perfect exchange. Both learned from one another, bridging the gap between worlds. In the days that followed, Alex became a respected figure in the city. His role in stabilizing the energy disturbance earned him recognition. Scientists consulted him, officials sought his advice, and even Lyra's people, watching from afar, acknowledged that humans had value in ways they had not expected. Lyra remained by his side, sometimes in human form, sometimes letting her glow shimmer slightly for those who were curious but not afraid. Together they worked on small projects, combining human engineering with alien technology. The city began to thrive in new ways, becoming a place where species from different worlds could live, learn, and grow together. One evening, Alex and Lyra stood on the balcony of their apartment, looking at the city lights below. The hum of activity and soft glow of energy devices filled the air. You know, Alex said quietly, I never imagined living with an alien roommate would be like this. Lyra glanced at him, a faint smile on her lips. Neither did I. But it seems we were meant to meet, to learn from each other, to protect this city together. Alex nodded. Humans, we can do amazing things. We just need a chance. And sometimes, we just need someone like you to show us what's possible. Lyra's eyes shimmered softly. And sometimes beings like me need someone like you. Brave, curious, and willing to trust. They stood in silence, watching the city. The stars above twinkled like diamonds, and the distant planets glowed faintly. Alex felt a quiet pride. Humans had been part of something extraordinary. They had acted with courage, cleverness, and compassion, and they had earned the trust of a being from the stars. Lyra leaned slightly closer, her glow soft and comforting. The future is vast, she said. Many challenges await, but I believe, with humans like you, we can face anything. Alex smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. Then we'll face it together. For the first time, he felt that humans were not just a small species on a small planet. They were part of the greater universe, capable of courage, ingenuity, and friendship that could bridge worlds. And he knew that living with Lyra had changed him forever. The city below buzzed softly, but Alex and Lyra felt calm. They had faced danger, revealed secrets, and built trust. The bond between them symbolized the possibility of unity. Humans and aliens, different yet capable of understanding each other, standing side by side in a universe full of mysteries. And as they looked up at the stars, both felt hope. New adventures awaited. New challenges would arise, but together, humans and aliens could achieve greatness. The universe was wide, full of wonders, and they were ready to explore it, side by side.